They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
The deep state, I think the president is dedicated to carrying out the orders of the deep state. Well, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, folks. I couldn't help it. I had to come on and do a lunchtime 30-minute broadcast. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Got to get Jolene to release the Zero Dark 30s a little earlier in the day as well. I'll have to talk to her about that, see if we can get those a little live a little quicker. Anyways, folks, we just got a massive bitch slap to the face today. And we made some discoveries. After I did that video, Trump, while having a cabinet meeting that was broadcast, sitting next to Pam Bondi on his right and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, member of the press asked about the Epstein files, and he played it off like, we're still talking about that sick guy. And I told you, when Trump fucks up, I will be all over him like white on rice. No, I don't give a shit about Jeffrey Epstein. Either he or his stand-in is now dead. I don't care about Epstein. I care about everyone on the list, his client list, the list that got Ghislaine Maxwell thrown in prison and sentenced for trafficking children to apparently nobody. You know, I mean, this is the quote from Trump. And he got snippy and shitty. He goes, quote, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein. Pam Bondi says, well, she has no knowledge of his ties to intelligence agencies. We already had a memo saying, oh, no, Epstein is an asset of the CIA, the intelligence community. Therefore, just leave him alone. No, you don't get to commit crimes. Now, I understand selling a missile here, some guns there. Okay, you have someone infiltrate the drug cartels, so you have to run on a few drugs. But kidnapping, trafficking, sexually abusing, and murdering children by the hundreds is not an accident. It's not acceptable. Fuck these people. Trump just showed us, and I think it was Mikey in the comments before the show started, said, yep, there goes all the hopium. If you had any hopium left in your hopium pipe, might as well just smoke it and get over it, because no longer is this a country. No longer is this a republic. It is a banana republic. It is a fucking clown show. The dumbest people, the most corrupt people, the dirtiest people, the dirtiest criminals are in charge, including President Trump. Okay, where's all the Q people? Ooh, man, where's the Q people to say, trust the plan? Are they trusting the plan now? Is this just a 5D, a 6D, or a 66D chess game? I need to know so I can get out more chess games and stack them on top of each other, because I need to know. This is bullshit. And I think what I said earlier stands. Now, a friend of mine I was talking to before the show advised me and said, remember when Trump said, we're going to do so much that your heads are going to spin. It's going to happen so fast, no one will believe it. Not one arrest. Not even one. A big fat zero. The arrest count for deep state, zero. The arrest count for election fraud, zero. I'm talking about big wigs, big shots. The arrest count for fraud and theft and abuse and money laundering and extortion and bribery, zero. The Epstein arrest count, zero. Zero. And if you noticed, listen carefully. Listen again. Do you hear any Democrats criticizing Trump? Do you hear any Democrats calling for the Epstein files? Do you hear any Democrats screaming he's a hypocrite, he's a loser, he fucked up, he's lying? Take a guess why. Because they are all on the fucking list. Their handlers, their bosses, their real masters, the deep state. The president doesn't run the show. It is now perfectly obvious. Things like monetary policy, fiscal policy, things like how much money to give the military, how much money to give away to other countries, how many missiles to give away to Ukraine. Some of those things are left up to some presidential discretion. But when it comes to their money, their power, their control, and their lust for raping children, nobody can stop them. Now, I got back into it probably 9 months ago, 12 months ago, reading about the absolute horror show in Europe. It didn't get a lot of airplay in America, but in Europe, they caught a massive pedophile ring. They caught the guy who was kidnapping children and providing them to rich, aristocratic, powerful European bankers, again, royal family members around all of Europe, politicians, and corporate CEOs were doing the exact same thing. They caught it, the people went nuts, and they did nothing. And the people just finally went away. This was over a decade ago. And now here in America, we're facing the same thing. Are we going to give up? Hell, they're going to tell us no more farming, no more cows, no more this, no more that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing. Not a fucking thing. Now, there's one difference here. I was talking to Uman about this. It's not like these people have infiltrated the country, compromised its leaders, took control of it, and now they're finally going to get the money out of us. No, the money's gone, folks. They've already stolen all the money. This country is broke. It's fucking in debt. Like you can't believe. It's going in debt, what, $1 trillion a fucking quarter under Obama. I'm sorry, Biden. And now we've got Trump promising to spend even more. They're going to continue to do things until we, the people, revolt with violence. It can start at the local level in a town. People going, you know what? I've had it with my city council. I've had it with my county supervisors. And they get violent and they throw it over. Or it could happen at the state level. They're like, we're tired of the capital fucking us over. And on the national level, folks, we have approximately 600 elected officials, very high political appointees, telling the other 350 million of us what we can and can't do. $600 people. Now, if you count all of Washington, D.C.'s bureaucrats, okay, 6,000. You got 6,000 high-level bureaucrats and politicians telling 350 million of us they're not going to enforce the law, that the corruption can continue, that the absolute destruction of our nation is just fine. It's going to come down. There's no way. Trump was, in my opinion, the last hope that we could discover who the bad guys are and arrest them. It's now done. The deal is done. See my Epstein update video for me to start at the bottom of the real power structure with Bongino and work my way through the FBI to the president and discuss what the fuck is going on. He is compromised or he's been threatened. And they could be holding the whole world hostage, you know, like Dr. Evil would. Right? Anyways, Trump has now completely shown me exactly that he's not willing to stand up. And he's not going to risk his life, his family, or his fortune. All he's doing is risking his ego and his reputation and his legacy. That's all he's willing to put up. Now, the founders of the country, the founding fathers, they wrote the Declaration of Independence. And the very last line, folks, the very last line, very quickly. This is extremely important because it has everything to do with Trump saying what he's saying. And for the support of this declaration with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Our lives. Are you going to bet your life? Are you going to risk your life? Enlisted men and women do it all the time by joining the military. They risk their lives. Their fortunes, they put their money up. They put their money where their mouth is. Like John Hancock, the richest man in America, signed the Declaration first, right in the middle, and large enough the king could read his signature without putting his glasses on. Oh, yeah. And their sacred honor. That's the third thing. Do we have sacred honor in Washington, D.C.? No, they do not. Now, let's continue with what's going on in the news quickly. Please get your questions down below, your comments and thoughts. And again, watch, if you will, my Epstein update, because I asked some very important questions at the end. What would you do if you were in Trump's position? Would you have the honor? Would you have the integrity to do what's right, even though it risks all life, the economy, the money, everything? What is the value of freedom? What is the price of failure? This country has already failed financially. It's done. The dollar is a failure. The economy is shitting. And Trump just sold us out. I don't want to rely on my cans of beans, and I don't want to have to dig into my cans of bullets. And I don't want to get shot at and have to stitch myself together with my own Band-Aids. They're going to start throwing us some bones, though. They're going to try and convince us Trump is still doing good stuff. Good things are happening. Just forget about that Epstein shit, right? The Supreme Court, SCOTUS, comes out and says Trump can do mass layoffs. He can overhaul 20 federal agencies in Washington, D.C. He can make cuts and save money and fire people in an 8-1 ruling, folks. Who was the one idiot who said he couldn't? Was it Sotomayor? Was it Ketanji Brown, I'm retarded Jackson? Was it Kennedy? Was it that other dipshit? 8-1. They gave Trump all kinds of authority now. Oh, how fascinating is that? They're covering their fucking asses. By the way, the CEO of the weather modification company said that they were conducting cloud seeding operations in Texas just 2 days before the flood. Oh, that's interesting, is it not? That's interesting. Yep. And here's some more. Maggot Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., said that they are codifying. That is, instead of just Trump having executive orders, they're putting his 28 of his executive orders, they're going to put into a bill, a new federal law. They're going to do exactly what Trump wants. Why now, Maggot Mike? Why now? All of a sudden, they want to codify the rules, the laws, the executive orders, the decency of the government. They're going to codify it now and close the border and do this and do that and do the other. And they're going to fire a bunch of people. They're going to save all kinds of money now. Really? Now? Now we're going to do that? Now, Congress, a shit pile of Republicans are demanding the National Institutes of Health are going to end Dr. Doom Fauci's animal testing because it's cruel, it's filthy, it's horrifying. Now they're going to try and do all kinds of shit to pacify you, to get you to forget. what's going on in Washington, D.C., that they're sweeping it all under the rug, right? Pam Bondi sat there next to the president, and she tried excusing away the 60 seconds of missing video footage of Epstein. You know what I bet that 60 seconds was? Epstein sitting on the floor, pretending to be dead after he killed himself. He gets up, they open the door, bring in the body double, put him in the same position, get Epstein out of there, and lo and behold, folks, lo and behold, now we have the body that can be taken out. Yep. Don't worry about it, though. The government's on your side. You can trust them. You can trust the government. You can trust the government. I mean, Trump needs to do what? He needs to pardon all the J6ers. He needs to pardon everybody. He needs to let everyone go to show what a good guy he is. I mean, is that next? It's unfucking believable. This agricultural secretary, Brooke Rollins of the USDA, right? She wants 25 million illegal aliens to be given amnesty so they can work on farms, in restaurants, in hotels, right? Doing jobs Americans don't want. How many fucking decades do we hear that? All these illegals are doing jobs Americans don't want. Turns out Americans want these jobs. Americans need these jobs. And Trump, after he got his big, beautiful bill passed by the Republicans, who ultimately didn't need the Democrats. None of them voted for any of it. The Republicans should have just passed it right away. Instead, they tried putting shit in there to make Democrats happy so they could flip us the bird. Oh, yeah. It's fucking hopeless at this point. It is bullshit. He passes the big, beautiful bill and says, let's just start giving people amnesty. And by the way, there's no Epstein documents. Stop asking about it. Stop wanting it. Stop asking for justice. Unbelievable. Now, Trump does, through his USDA dipshit, Brooke Rollins, is announcing that they're going to crack down on Chinese Communist Party ownership of farmland in the United States of America. Oh, you're going to crack down on it? What the fuck does that mean? Crack down on it? How about tell them to get the fuck out of the country? They don't own that property. We can pay them for it, whatever. Right? No, you don't get to own our farmland. Crack down on it. Oh, that'll do it. Cracking down on communists. That'll teach them a lesson. The frustration, folks. The failures of government. We're destroyed already. You bet. Oh, now. Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold the presses. This just came through while we're talking. President Trump says, quote, no amnesty, but it's going to be a work program for illegal aliens on farms. What? Well, no. No amnesty. You go back over the border. You don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You fill out a work visa application, a green card, and you come over not under amnesty, not under a work program, but under legal immigration status to work. How fucking hard is this? The labor secretary, get this, wants to use this term. We're going to do a concierge approach. We're going to streamline these illegal aliens. No streamlining, no amnesty. You don't get to stay here. Go get a fucking green card. And if you get paid money, you have to pay your taxes. The farm has to pay the taxes. And by the way, I lived in California. And there's this communist Mexican piece of shit named Cesar Chavez. They even have a Cesar Chavez holiday. He's a communist, a Mexican communist who had all of the illegal and legal, all the Mexican farm workers go on strike. and fuck farming until they got paid better than American wages. They aren't cheap labor, folks. They're not cheap labor in all truth, because they'll unionize. That's what they did. That's what Cesar Chavez was all about. Communist union, and then come after the farms and try and shut them down. Try and fuck us all. They're foreigners. They don't get to dictate what's going on. They're foreigners. They don't get to own our farmland. And they're foreigners. They don't get to control the presidency, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the FBI. But guess what? They are. Now, am I defeatist? No, I haven't quit. I haven't given up. No. But the P. Diddy case showed us that the powerful men above P. Diddy, the powerful Israelis, the powerful Obamas, the other powerful politically and financially controlling people above P. Diddy got P. Diddy off. But don't worry. No. Now they're saying that P. Diddy's in bigger trouble. That they're potentially going to give him a long criminal sentence. Oh, yeah. But they're not going to go after his clients, his P. Diddy party goers, people that have been included being seen there, filmed with him, photographed with him, right? Like all the NBA basketball players. Who's that big giant asshole, Lou, man? The big giant LeBron James. Don't bother typing it. I got it. LeBron wearing a fucking French maid outfit. Others appearing, right, at these P. Diddy parties dressed like bitches. Obama got a picture with P. Diddy. Oh, Kamala Harris did. But don't worry, they'll have to punish P. Diddy so that we forget about the Epstein files. Don't worry about it, folks. They got this. They got control of it all. Yeah. Oh, look over there. Squirrel. We're gonna give weapons to Ukraine. Forget about Epstein, right? That's the game they're playing. Share the internet address. Share the videos on YouTube. Share. Look, you might think that I'm like, fuck it, we're defeated. Nope. Now, this is what I'm waiting for. Are you guys ready for this? I am now prepared to wait for the violence to start, because there's nothing left. When people have lost everything, they lose it. And they're going to start getting more violent. The left has already shown us they've lost all control of what they want out of Washington. Washington doesn't care about these street fucking morons. Washington, D.C., the power elite above them, they don't care about Antifa. They don't care about black people and BLM. They don't care about LGBTQIAP pedophiles. They don't care about those people. Those are the little piss ants. They don't care about them. They don't care about Antifa and BLM. They don't care about any of these fucking freaks. The pro-Palestinians, the pro-Hamas, the pro-Hezbollah. They don't care about them. They use them. Understand that. They use them. The super elite will use the leftist, radical, violent morons the same way the powerful elite in Russia used their college students, the Bolshevik communist, which included the dregs of society and the Jews. That's right, folks. The Jews were a huge part of the revolutionary army in Russia that killed everyone they could, starved millions and millions and millions, and killed millions and millions, tens of millions of Russian Christians. Everyone, and then when they got power and control of Russia and it became the Soviet Union, guess who they killed? The Bolshevik revolutionary moronic idiot young people. Except those who were most useful, most knowledgeable, most capable, they kept them on as officers, of course. But for the most part, wipe them off the board. There goes your 3D chessboard. It's done. They're gone. Same with communist China. They use the idiot moron savants like Antifa, BLM, all these they think they're educated people. They use them and kill them. China used them and killed them. Once they get power, they don't care. The super elites above Trump above the Democrat Party, above Obama, will use everyone in the left to get what they want, to destroy this country. They'll use all of the Iranians, all of the Mexicans, all of the Central Americans, all of the gang members, all of the Muslims. They'll use them to destroy this country. And then the super elite will kill them. They're using the Muslims right now in Europe to take over and destroy their economy, their culture, their traditions, and laws. And then they'll wipe them out too. They're just useful idiots. That's all they are, useful idiots. Let me ask you this question. Do you think these people right here, do you think the super elite want these people around them? No, they don't want those people anywhere near them. But they'll use them to destroy Europe. They'll use them to destroy Canada, Australia, America, England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. New Zealand. It doesn't fucking, they will use them to destroy Japan. And they would, if they could, use them to destroy China and Russia. But guess what? China and Russia won't allow that. What do you guys want to talk about now? I say that they're gonna cause partisan conflict between the left and the right at our lower level here, us little people, the lower and middle classes, even the rich, but not the super rich, not the super powerful. They think they're part of the club. Even those people are being used. It is the ultimate satanic, upper level, exclusive billionaires and exclusive trillionaires who are going to be in charge. That's what they want. We took a chance with Trump. That was our last hope. Now it's going to come down to fighting for this country. I'm not saying that I want violence. I'm saying they're forcing it. And when the economy takes a giant shit, you think Trump is going to stop eating filet mignon? You think Nancy Pelosi is going to stop eating lobster? Just like they did when they shut down COVID, they still continue to live like fucking kings while trying to lock us all down. Are you going to fall for a lockdown again? Are you going to fall for this political fucking game? We've been saying, hey, this looks like kabuki theater. Let's give it a chance. Let's give Trump a chance. Let's give Trump a chance. Give Trump a chance. And we did. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I fucked up. Everyone, this is a complete trust the plan QAnon thing. This is all a giant trick. Trump is tricking the super elite. He's really the one in charge. Don't worry. Tomorrow they're going to start arresting everybody. Trust the plan. Where we crash one, we crash all. You know, it's not hopeless, folks, but we're left with just revolution at this point. We're going to have to fight our way out of this, literally. We are going to have to risk our lives, our fortunes, and we're going to need to put our sacred honor on the line. Nobody's perfect, I get that. But once you have nothing left to lose, you have everything to gain by fighting. Let me repeat that. When you have nothing left to lose, you have everything to gain by fighting. Why do you think they've been pushing for a drone army? Literal drone robots, drone dog bots. Why do you think they're pushing for autonomous drones in the sky? Not just the big drones that drop missiles, but the swarms of drones that can attack individuals. Why do you think they've been pushing for that and developing that in Ukraine? You think for a second the elites wouldn't use that on the people of Europe or the people of Canada, America, etc.? You think I'm naive, or do you think you're incorrect? Or do you know that you've been aware of this the whole time and you've been waiting and watching very carefully, prudently observing, but now we know the facts? It's your turn, guys. Who's going to be the leader, folks? It's not Trump. Trump failed us. Back country preps, my good friend and brother Vaughn. He says, we need a George Washington to lead the revolution. Where's he going to come from? It's not going to be a statesman. It can't be Tucker Carlson. It can't be Tucker Carlson. Why? He's a journalist. Whether you trust him or not, even if he was 100% trustworthy, could Tucker Carlson lead this country? How long would it take for a gun? This is the barrel of a gun over here, by the way. To put a bullet in his head. I'm not the fucking leader. I'm nobody. I'm just a little guy. Right? It's not going to, we need a George Washington, but we're not going to get a George Washington. Because the moment we get one, he's either going to be bought or assassinated. It is going to have to be all of us leading the way. Every man is going to have to become a leader in his own life, in his own mind, in his own heart. He's got to be the leader in his own family and his neighborhood, along with everyone else, accepting all of that responsibility also. Everyone has to say, I'm Spartacus, right? I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus. Remember that part from the movie? It was a great movie, right? They wanted to find Spartacus and all of the rebel slaves. Oh, yeah. All of the slaves in Rome did a slave revolt and fought their way all the way south to the south of Italy, could not get on the ships that they wanted there, so they had to fight their way all the way back north. They captured Spartacus and, crucified him. Anyways, we've all got to be willing to be the George Washington. And if you look back and think back to the revolution, they had, I'm not going to say easy, they had the ability to hide, regroup, train at Valley Forge, right? We had Baron von Steuben from Germany. We had the Marquis de Lafayette from France supplying training, tools, and weaponry to the American colonists who became an army, a hardened, well-trained army. And Valley Forge only happened after the American colonists were getting their asses kicked all over the place. Yeah, we put the hurt on the British Redcoats. You bet we did. But they put the hurt on us. Yes, we fought unconventionally like the wild savages of North America. But they still took their toll on us. And when we finally faced them on the battlefields, yes, we got our clocks cleaned. It wasn't until after Valley Forge, a lot of training, them becoming literally forged in the crucible of pain and suffering, that we, the American people, were able to finally defeat the British. But lives, families, fortunes, and sacred honor were at stake. We need George Washington. Yes, my brother. We need all of us to become Spartacus George Washington. We need all of us to become Andrew Old Hickory Jackson. We need all of us to become General Pattons. We need all of us to become Chesty Puller. We need all of us to become General Smedley Butlers. We need all of us to become Douglas MacArthurs. We need all of us to become Ethan Allens and Paul Revere's, racing through the night, telling people, wake the fuck up. We need to all be doing that right now, BCP. By the way, say hi to Karen. Say hi to the kids, William and the others. I miss you, buddy. I hope you're all doing well on the West Coast. Thank you. Mr. Uman, who do we want to bring up next? We've got Jerry Gauthier. Looks like he's related to Herman Munster. And I've never read your name before, Jerry, so welcome. He says, the problem is this. If I join the military, I am laying my life on the line for the sake of my freedom and the freedom of my family. But if I'm a politician, lay my life on the line for the country? What are you, nuts? It has to do with integrity, right? I see the problem. I understand the problem. The problem is an incredibly powerful system of surveillance and control They can cancel you, Jerry, your bank account. They can get you fired from your job. They can come and arrest you for any fucking reason they want. They can manufacture evidence. They get the master sergeant down here, Green Beret Master Sergeant, arrested because he would not help the FBI on January 9th, and he exposed them. They arrested him. They planted evidence. They threw him in fucking jail. Even after he was pardoned by Trump, they still wouldn't let him out. The Green Berets, by the way, if they're still training them the same way they were in Vietnam and up into the 80s, they are counter-intel pro, counterintelligence, counterinsurgency. They are supposed to train people in other countries to rebel against evil government. Green Berets know what to do. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We all have to be willing to lose. They can arrest me anytime they want. Make up shit. They can plant information on my computer. They can use deep fake artificial intelligence videos. They could make videos of me running drugs, kidnapping children. They could make videos of me stealing, robbing banks. They could make videos of me murdering people. And people would be like, yeah, see, I've seen that guy on the internet. He's crazy. They could do that. So you have to be willing to do all of this, lay your life on the line. The politicians, they've got money, prestige, power. They believe they're part of the club, that they're gonna be allowed to live through all of this. Right? So yeah, they're gonna look at us like we're fucking nuts. They're like, I'm not gonna lay my life on the line for you stupid American people. I'm part of the club. Yeah. And you say, if I join the military, Jerry, you ask that question or make that statement. No, I'm not going to join the military. I've already joined the military. I've already taken my oath. Right? I am going to lay my life on the line for my freedom. And by extension, your freedom and everyone else's freedom. I am not saying I'm going to go start an insurrection, commit acts of terror, break the law in any form or fashion. I'm not telling anyone shit. I'm not admitting to shit because I'm not doing any of that. But at some point, when the shooting starts, are you going to protect yourself, or are you going to lay down your line? I'm sorry, lay down your guns and say, I'm not crossing that line. Oh, no, they're going to shoot you anyways. Like I said, they already have their army to fight you and me. We're not going to go up in Washington, D.C. and fight Congress or the D.C. Metropolitan Police. We're not going to go try and do that. No, the left-wing idiots are going to do that. They've already been told, storm the White House, risk getting shot, injured, arrested, or even killed. It's for the cause. When they tell these lunatics, Antifa, BLM, LGBT pedophiles, when they tell Hamas and the Palestinians and the Iranians, start attacking American people on the street, watch how the world fucking changes, and changes quick. Changes quick. That's when you are going to have to stand up and protect yourself. After that, right now, the way I see it, and I appreciate the topic, it's a great topic for academic discussion. I'm not giving anyone orders. If you live in a city, big, small, medium, doesn't fucking matter, and these lunatics are running down the streets, setting fires, burning, looting, and murdering people, just like they did in 2020, and your government does nothing. The Declaration of Independence says you have a right and a duty. Not authority. You don't have authority. You have rights. People have rights. Government has authority. You have a right and a duty to get rid of that government and replace it with one that will set future guards for your liberties and your rights. See, that's what government's job is to do, is to protect us. That's its job, protect us. Make sure our rights are protected, and they're not doing it. So if they're burning and looting and going down the street killing people, not only do you have a right to protect yourself, your family, and your neighbors, you have a duty to go to government and get rid of that government, whether it's local or state. You have that right and that duty because they failed. Me, am I nuts? No, I'm just well educated. Read your history books. Read real history. Do real research. Come to your own conclusions. And you will be educated. But that won't give you courage. It won't give you moral courage. That comes from somewhere else. Right? And speaking of moral courage, right? We won our George Washington. We had this incredible general, this brilliant mastermind who was winning the American Revolution for us. He was brilliant, strong, courageous even. You know what his name was? Ooman, you know his name? Who I'm referring to? His name was Benedict Arnold. Fucking mastermind. He fucked up the British. But guess what? Even though he was courageous in his military exploits, he lacked that thing that we should have. Loyalty. Right? Loyalty. Honor. You know, that's one of the things that Marines really pride themselves on, is honor. Army too. I'm not taking anything away from the Air Force or the Navy. I'm not fucking with them. But honor, dignity, morality, decency has to be in place for courage to matter. Otherwise, you could have a Benedict Arnold who has got courage and strength and brains, but he's weak, right? He has no honor, so he is a traitor. That's what we're going to be facing also, is people becoming turncoats, becoming traitors to America. And a lot of people really feel that way about Trump right now. Okay, let's do this. Let's do another question, comment coming out of the audience, Mr. Ooman. And by the way, I'm getting a lot of private messages regarding earlier the Epstein update. I recommend you watch it and pass it along. Rock Valley Ready says, if the client list was released, it would be the biggest lynching from coast to coast. Oh, from east to west, north to south, pole to pole, all the way around the clock. Because it's more than just Americans on that list. It's Europeans. It's probably got royalty out of all of the Persian, Middle East, right? The Arab states. Whoever is fucked in the head and has joined this cult. Hey, it's got media personnel, it's got actors, it's got musicians, it's got bankers, it's got financiers, it's got judges. Judges are part of this sick, twisted cult of death. So it's more than just America. Rock Valley Ready, but you're right. It would be the biggest exposure of evil in the world for all times. And perhaps this is what happened 12,000 years ago. There's earlier human civilizations, folks, than the Mesopotamians and Sumerians. Göbekli Tepe is evidence of one that existed and got buried, literally buried under dirt 12,000 years ago. There's evidence of nuclear wars, literal nuclear war and destruction of cities. Now, I'm not talking about just Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm talking about archaeological evidence, radioactive material. Humans were here before. Is this what happened before? They became so fucking evil and they got caught, they got exposed, and so they just destroyed everything they could to start again and maintain their fucking control? I don't know. I just know that once you start learning and you get to that door, there's a door, and you knock on it. And they say you can't come in. You can't know these things. So you're like, okay, I'll just find the information myself. And you go out and you find more information and you make discoveries, folks, that aren't just eye-opening. They are the consequences or results of that is epiphany after epiphany after epiphany, understanding of what really this world has been about and is going to continue to be about. Power and control. They don't want us to be free. They want to take that from us. This experiment called the United States of America, this experiment called loosely democracy, our republic and others, proved what works, what doesn't. Communism fails. Fascism can work. War is good for taking power. You've got to control the banking system. They've got the whole system figured out. How to psychologically control us. How to manipulate us. How to lie to us. How to use each other as enemies to each other so they can maintain their power. Right? Hegelian dialect. Problem, reaction, solution, if you will. Right? Psychological warfare. Dumbing us down with fluoride and other chemicals. How to control us and give us diseases so that they can keep us weak and sick and ineffective. Rotten people, folks, rotten people. And they're at the top, and they're the ones telling Trump what he's going to do. And he is kowtowing to them. Oh, wait, trust the plan. He's got a plan. He's going to trick them and expose them, and it's going to fix everything, and there won't be any more problems, right? We're all going to be wealthy. I keep hearing this bullshit about $150 trillion that the government has, that we're all going to be rich. Folks, our government is in debt $150 trillion. Did you know that? Oh, no, John, no, it's only $36 trillion. No. That is upfront debt. There's also unfunded obligations. That is to say, social programs and promises that the government says they're going to pay. Retirements, benefits, over $100 trillion in retirement and benefit money that the government owes. And it didn't save the money. It spent the money. There's no treasury full of gold and jewels and magic. Nope. All right, Mr. Uman, let's continue if we shall. We got Mikey G. He says, quid pro quo. You, Mr. Trump, swept Epstein under the rug. Now the Congress and Supreme Court are super cooperative. Imagine that. That is 100% correct. And I pointed that out as best I could earlier with today's news. Yeah, it is quid pro quo. This for that. Trump, you look horrible for just letting the Epstein list go. But we're going to make you look good over here with all these other things. You can do this. You can do that. Oh, we're not going to give amnesty to the illegals. We're going to have a super duper streamlined, smart, concierge way to keep illegals in the country and working. Why? They're not going to vote for you, Trump. Ronald Reagan proved that. Yes, Ronald Reagan gave amnesty to a bunch of fucking illegals. And now California, they've been fucking Democrat, dyed in the wool Democrat. So bad, so Democrat, that they reduced the criminal level for pedophiles. The California legislature in the last couple of years, and we've covered this, they want to make it legal to have sex with children. They want to legalize pedophilia. Make it not a crime. Just they're sick fucking people, folks. Your life, your family, your fortune, and your sacred honor is all that is left. How rich are you? If you've got nothing left, you've got nothing left to lose except your honor. What's in your heart and soul? What's in your mind? That's all we have left. The Scots, I'm talking about Scotland, when they were fighting the English, right? This is the movie Braveheart. They were starving. They were exhausted. They were beaten down. They had nothing left to lose. They were already destitute. Then they started fighting the Longshanks, King fucking Longshanks, whatever the fuck his name was. Edward. Is it Edward? I can't remember. Fuck it. They were fighting him, and they became so poor and starved after that because they weren't farming. They're fighting, not farming. But they still went and fought, even after everything, because they still had courage and their honor and integrity. And they ended up winning their freedom from the king, his replacement. Oh, yeah, folks, it's a mess. We're at that same place. Technology doesn't matter. The internet, planes, rockets, cars, choo-choo trains, mass-produced food, telecommunications, solar power. Doesn't matter. You still break everything else down. And humans that have no honor, that are scum and evil, do the same exact thing. Except now they have all that technology on their side. They have surveillance, computer power, artificial intelligence, a drone weapons system to attack on every level. Will the United States government use nuclear weapons on us? Remember when Joe Biden said, well, if you're going to, and he kind of like scratched his head. He's like, well, if you're going to come after the government, you're going to need some F-16s and maybe some atomic weapons. If we're in Washington, D.C., we the people, en masse, in loosely organized, semi-trained units fighting, are they going to nuke themselves? Or could we take the country back, literally? Once again, now we look at the military. What side are the military on? Air Force. Are you going to attack Americans who are fighting for freedom and to get away from these fucking Epstein scum? How about the Navy? Will you turn your ships on? Will Navy fighter pilots strafe the fuck out of us? How about the Army and the Marines? Will the military, not just the military, but the infantry, or will they say we want freedom and liberty? Where are you at, Michael? Big Mike, get a hold of me, man. Tell me what you know. You know who you are. I wish I had insider super secret squirrel decoder ring news from my contacts inside the military. I don't have that anymore, folks. What little I had is gone. I don't know if it's gone dark, if it's just silent. It's a dark day in America. Sotomayor, liberal, stupid ass, Latina communist Sotomayor had to tell Ketanji Jackson Brown what the case was actually about. The case, and so it was Ketanji dumbass DEI Brown Jackson, who was the one vote against Trump having the power to do what Trump has the power to do, right? Which is fire everyone and cut budgets on government bureaucracy. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Ooh, man, we got a little bit of time left. What are we going to do next? Who are we talking to? We've got Chin Music. And Chin, the man that he is, goes right to the heart. Mossad will never let that list get released. The minute that happens, they lose all leverage over those still in office. Mossad is the CIA of Israel. Israel controls probably 90% of Congress through AIPAC, the America-Israeli Political Action Committee. They do it through campaign contributions and through the control of people with drugs, prostitution, bribery, and pedophilia. That's their tools, folks. That's their tools. That's how they control Washington, D.C. And that pedophilia can be exposed through the Epstein list that Chin Music says will never be released. Give me that fucking list. I'll release it and I'll take the bullet. I don't care. To me, the ends justifies the means to expose these people. Mossad is a shithole organization from a shithole country. Remember when Trump called other countries shitholes? We're like, yeah, they're shitholes. That's Israel. Now, there are good people in Israel, no doubt. There are good Jews, no doubt. But those practicing the Talmudic faith, notice I didn't say Jewish faith, Talmudic faith. When you read what that's all about, you find out what evil really is and what they're willing to do. And they've done it. I don't know why we don't do it just to get rid of them. Oh, but we're going to lose all of Washington, D.C., all the judges, all the lawyers, all the cops, all of this, all of that, because they're all compromised. Good. Let's get rid of them. But there's one more key element here, Mr. Chin Music. It's called it's their Samson program. Right? Operation Samson, or whatever the fuck it's called. Samson, who was the super Jew who brought the temple down on the Philistines in the Bible. If they lose control or power, they have promised to nuke the world, including the United States of America. The Israelis have let us know, and everyone, that everyone is targeted. If they go down, they're going to bring down everyone else. If Israel is taken down by Iran or Egypt or some other country, they will destroy everyone that they can. That's their threat. They have nuclear weapons, and they're holding the world hostage. Netanyahu may as well put a skull cap on so he looks like Jeff Bezos and go, we're going to take over the world, right? Yeah. All joking aside, Mossad is evil. The CIA is evil. The FBI is evil. The DOJ is evil. The Attorney General is evil because they won't get rid of evil, right? If you don't fight evil, you support evil. It's a clear choice. Now, if you aren't willing to fight evil from your position of authority and power in the government, then you need to resign. You don't have to tell us why. Just resign and quietly go the fuck away. But I think Pam Bondi is well controlled. Right? You release that list, you even threaten, you even think about it. We'll come after your husband, your family. Right? They'll threaten all the way to the top. That's why I asked the question, why can't the President of the United States threaten them? And tell whoever this deep state is, whoever this Epstein list is, why can't he tell them, you're threatening me? You want to threaten my family? Right? Why doesn't he go full Al Capone on them? Right? Why doesn't he go full fucking Sopranos? I'll kill you, your family. Why doesn't he go back and threaten them? Because they've got nuclear missiles and they're pointed at the rest of the world. Millions and millions will die. Does Israel have chemical weapons? Does Israel have biological weapons? How would we know? They won't even admit they have nuclear weapons, except they threaten everyone with them. Everyone knows they have them. They asked for nuclear weapons. John F. Kennedy, the president, said, you ain't getting them. 2 months later, he shot through the fucking head. And then, somehow, Israel got nuclear weapons. Coincidence? I don't think so. Ooh, man, let's slip one more in if you think we got a good one. Diving Frog says, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear Trump is clearing the way so Barron has a cushy seat at the political table in the future. Oh, sure. If you play along nice, Mr. Diving Frog, we won't kill you or your family or your country. Play along nice. We'll let you stay in charge as the administrator. Right? The administrator. Let's pretend that countries are buses. Buses go out of the bus barn, the yard, right? The bus location, and they drive around and they do what they want. And they pick up people and they drop people off. They do what buses do. But the bus driver is not the boss of the bus company. In fact, the bus company still says, no. You can drive here. You can go a little faster. You can go a little slower. You can be in the left lane or the right lane or hell, the middle lane. But you will stop at the bus stops. You will pick certain things up and you will drop certain things off. But ultimately, you'll do what the boss at the bus company says. Trump is driving the biggest, coolest bus of them all. The America bus. Fuck, he's taking up 2 lanes. Fuck it. He's swerving in and out of the lanes. Who's going to stop him? The bus company's like, behave, Mr. Trump. Trump's like, I'm going to tell everyone that you're telling me to do this. And they're like, you do that, we're taking your bus from you. So this is kind of what Diving Frog is saying, right? Is Barron Trump or Donald Trump Jr. or whoever the fuck. You'll get to be the next bus driver and drive the America bus. You don't do as you're told, we'll kill everyone. That's what it feels like. That's what it smells like, because that's what history tells us this is all about. When we find out, when we, meaning not me, not you, but the rest of the country and the rest of the world, finally makes the discovery about who is behind the curtain, who is pulling the levers, who is aiming the missiles, who is making the threats, who is controlling everyone else. When they find out who it is, you find out who the Antichrist is, who the major evil bastard is. Whether it's one man or woman or group, when we find out, people are going to say that we should have listened to that other guy. We aren't there yet. Are you prepared for what's coming? Wake up. Everyone who's red pilled got a big black suppository over this. Got it shoved right up our ass. The rest of the world is going to wake up too, folks. Everyone is going to get red pilled over this. Will you have the courage to do something about it? Well, not if you're starving to death. So get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. Get prepared so that when the shit goes down, you can do what you can. Everything you can. For yourself, your country, for your honor, everything. Until then, we're going to watch this fucking thing unravel. You know, if you're a religious person, pray. If you're a spiritual person, meditate. If you're an atheist, whatever. I believe in something bigger than myself. I'm praying and hoping that something good can come of this. But I see nothing but heartaches, hard times, and hardships from this point forward. It's now up to us, and we have to fight at the street level. I'm not telling anyone to commit violent acts and crimes. I'm just saying we're going to end up fighting at the street level. May as well get used to the idea and get trained for it. Chance favors the prepared mind. Am I wrong? Or not? I'll see you guys later.